Hello everyone and welcome to ReinaMoe's DIY and Designs. Today our project is going to be a Sweet 16 masquerade party. So with that, let's begin. The colors that my subscriber shared with me for this particular inspired piece are teal and silver. And she said masquerade. So I'm assuming that it's a big fancy birthday party for a Sweet 16. So with that, I went to my local Dollar Tree and I was able to find this sequence ribbon that we're going to use today, as well as this particular glass vessel that we're going to use. It's rectangular in shape. Now, I've gone to my local hardware store and I've purchased Krylon stained glass spray paint. Obviously, they didn't have it in teal, but if you mix blue and you mix green, then you will get teal. So that's what I've done. I've spray painted some of the vessels just like this with that color, and they're drying currently. But here's one just to give you an idea. It's just a hint of color. And you can spray paint it with those spray paints to get the hue exactly that you want and the right opacity. But since it's stained glass, you're supposed to be able to see through it. So I just wanted to show you that. How I'm going to do this particular tutorial, because she asked for centerpieces, I've decided I'm going to do an entire tablescape. So I'm going to break it up into different projects and just show you how I put it together in different tutorial videos. So the first one that we're going to be working on is actually going to be the mid-size tutorial, and it's going to encompass that particular stained glass votive holder and this one, and I'm going to show you how I put it together. So the first thing I'm going to do is, from the Dollar Tree, I got ribbon, and this is on their wedding aisle because this is one of their wedding ribbons. I don't know if you can see the design that it has on there. It's kind of like a fleur-de-lis snowflake kind of design, and I thought it was really pretty. And on the edges here, it has like an iridescent trim, and it picks up with a teal color. So I said, you know, we can do something with this. And last time I showed you this silver gray ribbon that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, we might be using it in this particular tutorial, along with the sequin ribbon that I got at the Dollar Tree. I have washi tape. This washi tape we may or may not use, but this one was purchased in a pack that I picked up for another tutorial that I showed you guys, where I did the bridal shower invitation, and this was one of the colors of the thin one, so we may use some of this in this tutorial. And last but not least, this, which the camera doesn't do it any justice, is some kind of expensive trim that I purchased, which I'm going to be using in my wedding. That's completely crystallized. I mean, I don't know if these are Swarovski crystals, but for the price per yard, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to use a little bit of this to embellish instead of using pieces that I got from Totally Dazzled, because those pieces seem to be more pearly, and there are rhinestones as well, but being this is for a Sweet 16, I'm not thinking that a teenager is going to like pearls so much. So I'm pretty sure she'll enjoy bling. So that's the reason why I decided to use some of this trim. So let's begin. First off, I'm going to start by taking off the plastic here, and we're going to adhere with some glue, hot glue. We're going to go ahead and adhere this ribbon to the vessel. And I'm going to do it in pieces because I want the ribbon, instead of going around like it was in my last tutorial, I actually want this ribbon to go vertically. Okay, so we're going to embellish these vessels vertically, and once I'm done with that, I'll come back. So once you've gone ahead and you've adhered your ribbon, this is what it's going to look like on all sides. Next, we're going to go ahead and take the sequin ribbon, and then I'm going to run that in the center and along the sides as well. When I come back, I'll show you that final look. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I have adhered the ribbon on all sides, both types of ribbon. Isn't that pretty? You can just really see that sequin sparkle. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this bling. What I've decided is I'm going to cut it. As you all know, I love to do with ribbons. I'm going to cut it lengthwise, okay? And I'm going to adhere it to the vessel, and then I'll come back and I'll show you exactly how that looks. Now, I wanted to tell you, when I purchased this many months back at Hobby Lobby, I was told that this was like self-adhering, like it had a back that you could take it off and it had adhesive. It doesn't. It is sticky on the sides, and I guess it has to be that way in order to make sure when they created this that each one of these rhinestones stayed adhered to the band, which is really thick. I don't know if you guys can see the thickness of the band, but you know, the crystals are just, I mean, just gorgeous, just beautiful. I mean, if a sister wanted to, you could wear this as a bracelet. You know, I might do a DIY on that. But anyway, this is really, really pretty. So I'm going to come back and show you how I've separated it and affixed it to the vessel. Okay? Okay, guys, here I just wanted to show you that I was using food coloring in order to color the water for the flowers that I purchased. The arrangement that I'm going to do is going to be fresh flowers, so I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how I colored the flowers. In my next project, when I actually put everything together for the final reveal, you'll see the colored mums and daisies, I think that's what they are, that I picked up. So basically I'm just filling a nice vase full of tap water that's warm to help open up the ones that are still kind of closed and give them a nice drink. And I'll be adding the food coloring, which you will see shortly. Prepping the flowers, making sure I take off all the these leaves that are on the stems that are low that will be in the water, and cutting it off at an angle so that the flowers can drink. You want to be mindful that you remove all the greenery that's extra that you're not going to be using, because as the plant
drinks, it takes longer for it to take up the food coloring if it has more leaves that are going to be thrown away and discarded. So the best thing to do is prep your flowers very, very well. And that's what I was showing.
The final look on that after I've added the crystal. So once you do the floral arrangement inside, you can use it with you know, rocks, any kind of decorative leaf if you choose to do that. It's nice enough that you could actually have colored water in here. If you think that the table setting that you're going to do will be safe so that no one will actually spill the water, but that would be something really nice in here. The water beads with colored water would be nice in here, and flow along with your concept. So the next step that we're going to do is, once this is completely dry, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to affix this to the top of the colored one, but I'm going to have it off-centered and skewed like this. So when I come back, I'll show you what that final look like. So I've used hot glue to affix the top to the bottom. So I wouldn't suggest that you lift it up the way I did, but I wanted to show you that it is solid, it's secure. But always use epoxy when you're going to make glass pieces connect to each other. But just for the time being, I just wanted to show you that. So here is the final look of the stained glass with the decorated vessel on top. Really cute. And then in my next tutorial, I will show you how I put this together with the floral arrangement, and I'll also show you the floral arrangement for the low centerpiece. If you enjoyed watching this tutorial and learned something, give me a thumbs up, rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful evening. Bye.